So I'm a big fan of 911, and when I was watching the new episode this week on Disney Plus, I noticed that the crime they were following, it was like a flash robbery. So they were conducting the flash robbery and then they were going to go do it and then just be gone. And it was all planned out of Discord, and they actually named it Discord. They didn't use like a fake branded, oh, it's not quite the same word kind of name that traditional media normally does. And I found it really interesting because one, like, are they allowed to say that because it's open source and it was like commentary, or were they doing it because traditional media has got this thing recently of really wanting to bring down Discord? Like, I kind of get annoyed when TV and stuff pretends that the internet's a brand new whimsical thing that we can't possibly still understand, but internet culture is still pretty separate from normie stuff. And maybe I'm biased in this because I am like the proper internet YouTube girl who was weird in school, but I just found it really interesting that they actually had a screenshot of the real app as well as they were like following through with the plan and demonstrating the crime in action. But Discord specifically has come under a lot of discontent from mainstream media because every time I hear people talking about it on the news, it is mainly in America and I'm in the UK, so it's not necessarily relevant, but a lot of the time Discord comes up, it's like, oh, there's Nazis on it and they're harboring racist and they're causing so many problems. And it's like, guys, you know, Discord was originally created as a communication tool for gamers. A lot of business tools like Teams, for example, it's like a lot of people transition from Teams to Discord because they go, oh, it's really similar, but it's actually got loads more features, and it's because Discord came first. I think technically Slack came first in that sort of genre of apps, and let's not even talk about the Skype death. But Discord is still the really popular one. And yeah, you can talk about all the bad stuff that happens on it, like crime, terrorism, racism, illegal stuff, which would probably hang out on the dark web, but it's only because it's a platform with tools that allow privacy, and any platform can harbor horrible people. It's all down to the way people choose to use it. Like, I'm pretty sure there is a legal distinction in some countries between being like a platform and a broadcaster, because a broadcaster sort of has their own agenda and they can censor things and they try and produce content of a certain genre within certain guidelines. But a platform is just, we have these tools, you use these tools how you want. They're normally open source, like a Discord, and they can be used in a bunch of positive ways too. So today I want to talk about ways that you can use Discord to actually build your community as they were intended. So since Discord was originally like a gamer community building tool and like a way people could talk while they were doing games instead of using the in-game mic system, then it is really strongly built around geek culture and that sort of thing. Gamers, YouTubers, digital artists, and any sort of like creative people who want to like use the internet as their main platform. That's what it's most popular for now. It can actually be used as a way to get your audience off a social media platform where you could be heavily censored and your account could be shut down at any time, and you can move them onto a platform that you have more control of, which you could do that on your own website. That's more of a visual, we put stuff out and then you can maybe comment on it. But the idea of Discord is that you can have servers and you bring the conversation more, instead of being a parasocial relationship, you can have more of direct access to the person who set up the server, who's the admin. I'm not in a huge amount of Discord servers, so I'm going to use this one that is like got my friends in it that we used to talk most of the time. There's some people talking now. And basically, if you look at it, I am in the general text channel, but you have the server and the people who are in it, and they can only join the server if you give them a specific invite. This can be done in link form or by emailing people, or if you have them as a friend on Discord, then you can send them a request to join it. But they have all these different channels. There's like the rules that you normally go by, and people can have rules like how you have on Facebook groups, for example, like don't post XYZ or else you'll be removed. And this is all controlled by the admin and the person who created the service. They can have any rules they want. They could say you have to post a selfie of yourself every day or else we'll remove you, and they can have that rule because it's their environment, their community that they control. And then by default, every Discord server has a voice channel where you can sort of talk with each other, and then a text channel. And in the voice channels, you can also add cameras, but that's less of a default thing. We've got it so it's set up like different rooms in the house so people can have different conversations and different things. Bathroom is AFK. It's like we've gone to the bathroom is normally the reason you're off mic. Or we've got different chats like general, which is literally just most conversation when people aren't on voice chat, gaming stuff, meme stuff that would definitely get you banned in a lot of places, like Meme Dump has got some stuff, sort of like shitposting. But you can see the structure of it, and you can see that people have different roles here. So we've got the mods who have control of more functionality, and then we've got like just the general populace here where I'm mixed in. And then offline you can see, I think most Discord servers you have, it's something ridiculous for like the number of people you can use. I'm gonna look it up. So free users, because this is a free platform by default, they can join up to 100 servers. People who pay their subscriptions for like the premium version, they can join up to 200 servers. Like a single server can have up to 250,000 members. If it's a new server, I'm not sure what technically classifies as a new server. I don't know if that means like old or if you've just not had time to build yet. You can have like up to 100 people active in a voice channel at once, I'm pretty sure. And you can have so many discussions going on even without you there, and it's just all on this topic of what this server's about, that you don't necessarily always need to be present in order to have your server grow and your community growing and building its own ecosystem of people like having in-jokes and talking about stuff. And it's normally all focused on one thing that they're a big fan of. But if we're thinking in the realms of a content creator, let's say you're an artist and you want to engage with your community more in a platform that you control. You want to be able to get the word out to people about any new products you're dropping, any events you're going to be exhibiting at, so people have the opportunity to buy tickets sooner than it's announced. That's the sort of thing that you could put into a Discord server. If you're doing it based on a viewership instead of like a friendship group, then normally the people who join your Discord server are the hardcore fans who want all that information and are likely to be highly engaged in anything you're doing. One of the things you could do to build a community in your Discord server is you can have like special private Q&As. People a lot of the time will post surveys and ask, oh, what do you want to see next on my channel? What sort of products do you want me to be designing for you? What sort of tools do you want me to be putting out there for you to be able to use? Like a lot of business owners will have private education. And because a community like Discord is more back and forth, it's normally like, if you join this server, then you can ask me any question you want on said topic, as opposed to have access to this exclusive course, because that could normally just go on a shopfront and then you can just promote it in a one-directional way. Obviously, you can say, I'm dropping this course soon, what information do you want included on it? And then your audience can sort of contribute to that, and they'll feel more inclined to purchase it when they've contributed to the conceptualization of that course. It's sort of meant to be more back and forth. It really turns the parasocial relationship into an actual social relationship. It can get kind of sketchy when you have some creators who they like meet people on their Discord servers who they don't know who you are inherently. Like a lot of people will have a rule that it's 18 plus only, but all you have to do to break that is check a box, and then you can get in there in an environment that's meant to be 18 plus, and then you could possibly be talking about inappropriate content. But that's all down to like the moderators to catch that, and a bit of personal responsibility as well, which is another reason why Discord can get such a bad rap. But I'm a strong believer of you can't try and police people on the internet or in general. You can just react to the information you have in the moment, and no one actually intends to do anything sinister most of the time. It's just that accidents happen. But inversely, this can be a really positive relationship, because people who follow you as a content creator are obviously interested in the same things as you, and there have been a lot of cases where people build genuine friendships through their Discord servers. I'm pretty sure there are people who are getting into relationships because of their Discord servers, and they like meet people who they wouldn't have been able to meet otherwise, because the internet's an amazing place. And honestly, I think online dating is one of the least successful ways to get a partner online, in my opinion. One thing that people kind of use the Reddit model for is if you're one of those people who like reads out stories of a certain genre and you just read stuff that you find online, instead of doing that, you can have people directly submit to you stories that are from their life and that they want to be shown on your channel, so you get exclusive content that you can put out through your audience's stuff. Like Reddit people get this all the time, like, send me your stories of themes of when someone was an asshole to you and I'll read out about it. And your Discord server is a great place to collate those stories. Not only do you get content that you can leverage for building your own viewership in the future, but you end up with your audience talking amongst themselves, sharing experiences of these similar things, giving advice for how to avoid it in the future. Also, one that springs to mind is Caleb Hammer. Financial Audit has a Discord server for every single guest that's ever been on the show, and they keep each other up to date with their financial progress journey, and then he allows that as a way to sort of reach out to people and go, how are you progressing? How are you getting on? Are you ready to come to a follow-up interview on the follow-up channel? I'm assuming, I'm not in these servers, but I'm assuming that he has links to all of his resources because he gives people free courses and access to certifications, and I would imagine that they're all organized in different channels like that, and I would assume they would have an onboarding channel, although they send them all the onboarding documentation anyway. It's a great way to like structure layers of information that people can organize. It's almost like folders within folders, but people can have active discussions in every single one of those folders, and they can access information in other ways. Like people can have bots as well. So say you've got a bot that has an automated workflow. So if someone uses a specific word, then it automatically triggers an action. So if someone's saying, how do I get one of my stories read on XYZ person's channel? Then a little bot could pop up and say, hey, submit it to this place here. Or if someone says, does anyone know when the next product's dropping? Then a bot can pop up and go, it's due to release at this date. And that's a way that you can use it to get people talking about your upcoming launches and your information. I also want to talk real quick about Discord server subscriptions, because any place that people have a community, any place that people have an audience, it's only natural for them to eventually try and leverage it into income and monetize every avenue you have. There are obviously people who are fundamentally against that, but having the option is nice, and it's inevitable that there will be an audience for that tool. Some people get too cocky and ruin what they have when they over monetize it, but that's a different discussion. But Discord server subscriptions is a way that you can create a paywall. So we're all familiar, well, we're not all, but a lot of us are familiar with Patreon. And the idea of Patreon, it was that people who want to contribute to your content, usually content that doesn't inherently generate revenue. Ad revenue is wishy-washy, and you might get demonetized on YouTube, or you might lose your certification to put Google ads on your blog or anything like that. Ad revenue is not guaranteed income. This is a way of predicting what income you're going to have, and it's basically like people tipping you so you can continue putting out the content that you do, the information that you deliver to them that they benefit from. Stuff that isn't inherently a transactional output is a way for people to give you income for that. So Patreon will normally be content creator makes stuff, like I think Abroad on Japan will go and shoot all their videos, and then they will have behind the scenes content of them producing the videos that doesn't go out on the main YouTube video, but they go on their Patreon page for people who want to see more authentic clips that got cut, or maybe stuff that didn't follow the flow of the story that they were building in the narrative as they went. So they go on Patreon, they can pay a little fee. Some people have it pay per item, some people have it pay per month, kind of like how OnlyFans does it as well, which is a similar model, and OnlyFans wasn't originally for sex workers, it just had the same structure. And then these people get special rewards in return for funding the project, the creator, the team, any sort of thing like that. So Discord has a way of doing that with server subscriptions. So if you want to make a paywalled section of your Discord server, it doesn't even have to be the whole server, which is great. You can have an existing server, you don't have to start a new one, and you go into the settings and you enable server subscriptions, and then it creates you a channel. I think at this time it has both voice and text channels, and you can put it on a paywall, and then the system will allow you to tier it, so you can have like certain content is only available to people who pay a tenner, and certain content is available to people who pay a couple hundred. And I think you can like put it to wherever you want, but most of it it's like 99 and then 199, 299, like, you know, for the psychological keep it under the round zero trick. And you can put any content you want in there, and only people who have paid the subscription actually retain access to that channel. And because it's an in-platform tool, you don't have to remove people who don't pay every single month, which is so useful, especially when you get to the 250,000, 500,000 size. Then you don't need to worry about ejecting people who haven't paid their fee for a while. And imagine your mods having to sift through that all the time. It'd be ridiculous. This allows you to create a layer of like more premium stuff, and I'm pretty sure they have a way where you can limit the amount of people in the channel. So then if you're using it as, say, like a small business owner who just wants to have a very private place where only the people willing to pay the majority amount can talk to you and have access to you whenever you're available, then you'd want to limit that to maybe 10 people, and then you can set the cap and you will just have this very small group who can access this information. Now, this has been in the works for a couple of years now. People have been asking for it for ages. I do think the one con is that although technically anyone in the world can make a server subscription, you have to be able to provide a social security number in order to cash out to the payment provider Discord connects it to, which is Stripe. Now, I don't understand this because that's code for you can't do this unless you're American, but my web shop uses Stripe as a payment provider and I'm in the UK. So I hope that's something they're working on and something they're trying to release out into wider audiences. But if not, I know there are like third-party integration tools because it's open source software, so people can create their own plugins and stuff for it that you can sort of monetize and do a paywall in a different way, but it's not for server subscriptions. One of them's called WAP, I think. I found it while I was doing research into it, and WAP kind of works in a way of like, instead of having a channel that's paywalled, it's like because you can have the different statuses of people's profiles, they can have different permissions. So instead of like a mod would have permission to look at everything, and then with WAP it has a special way of you can release content and post content that is only visible to people with this certain attribute, and then they can see it anywhere within the server. I think it's interesting. I don't really know if I have an endpoint to this. I just know that I feel like I would really want to use server subscriptions if I were to make a Discord server. I don't feel like I have an audience big enough to justify it at this moment in time, but if I were to make a Discord server, I think I would love to have a big open space where everyone can just talk about everything they want to in relation to like content creation, gaming, anime, anything that I talk about on this channel that people would mention in comments. I want them to be able to say it in the Discord server and sort of like get creative, and maybe people could collab to like have projects of their own where they need creative media production people, and I feel like that'd be really cool. But then I would have like a server subscription channel where it's people who can ask me specific stuff relating to their business and relating to like stuff they're working on in their business. So if they're doing a long rebuild of their website, what pages would they recommend, what sort of strategies for SEO, what email chains are they putting together, stuff for creating content on their social media and they're running out of ideas. I would love to have a premium channel for that, and we can discuss it there. And then that would be like people would egg each other on and encourage each other, and maybe they can spread ideas around amongst themselves because we're creating this like fluid workspace where people can just throw out ideas and there's no judgment, and it'd be really fun. But I don't think I have any reason to do that right now, but I think it would be really cool. And I've been going on for quite a while now, so I'm going to thank you for watching. If you clicked on this video, you probably liked the thumbnail, so maybe you would consider going to my shop in the description for my YouTube thumbnail design service or any other digital marketing services I offer. I also have some pieces of art that I have turned into products like cute little keychains, a blankets, or shoes, and you are welcome to have a look at that too. So thank you and subscribe.